Hello and welcome. My name's Heather. I'm a registered professional counselor and a certified life coach, and I'm a huge fan of Gilmore Girls. Today, I'm going to be analyzing the episode where Dean and Rory break up. So let's get started.
Tell me what happened. You just broke up with me, okay?
Anyone else notice that creepy clown pillow? Someone pointed it out to me and now I can't stop seeing it. And neither will you.
That doesn't make any sense. This is Dean we're talking about. He's crazy about you. He calls like 25 times a day. Have you seen the cover of his notebook? It's one step away from stalker material.
Rory just came back from celebrating their 3-month anniversary, and she told Lorelai that they broke up. Already, Lorelai is in disbelief about what happened.
Take me through the night step by step. Why? So I can help decipher what happened here. What happened here is we broke up. He didn't want to be my boyfriend anymore. End of story.
Lorelai is trying to understand the situation. She knows that it doesn't make sense that Dean would suddenly break up after planning a romantic date. Rory is trying to minimize the detail of the breakup, and she's also placing the blame on Dean by saying he doesn't want to be my boyfriend anymore, end of story. Well, we know that it's not true, and she hasn't acknowledged or taken responsibility for what may have led to the breakup. Obviously, it had something to do with the fact that she didn't say I love you back to Dean. Again, nothing wrong with her not saying it, especially if she's not ready. I wish we actually saw what happened in the car ride home because I'm curious as to how their conversation led to the breakup.
What are you doing? Getting rid of all this stuff. What stuff? Everything he gave me, everything he touched, everything he looked at.
After a breakup occurs, it's a good idea to get rid of anything that reminds you of your ex, around your house or on your phone. So it's good that Rory is already taking proactive steps to do this, but from what I can see, the way that she describes the breakup and how she's behaving, there seems to be some avoidant tendencies, or maybe some denial. She can also be in shock since it just happened, and she's not fully processing exactly what happened or what it means moving forward.
Someday, when this is all in the past, you may be sorry that you don't have some of those things anymore. I don't care. But Rory... I don't care! Okay, fine. Let's go on.
I think it depends on how each person wants to deal with these mementos. You don't necessarily need to throw it all away. You can hide them out of your sight or store them at a friend's house for the time being. You can even give some of the things back to your ex, depending on how things ended. I think Lorelai is doing a really good job by providing some insight for Rory. It's clear that Rory is not ready to talk about what happened. She's not in the right headspace to listen to any advice, and she's clearly quite emotionally charged. And usually, when people are in this physiological state, it's hard for them to think logically because their emotions have taken over. So, in the next clip, we will see the morning after.
Rory, I'm concerned about you. I wish you would talk to me. I don't want to deal with it right now.
Great way to start off the conversation. Lorelai is being clear about how she's feeling regarding Rory's behavior and the fact that Rory hasn't really opened up about the breakup, which explains Lorelai's concerns. Now, she could also be concerned with the lack of emotion that Rory is showing as well. Now, why isn't Rory willing to talk about the breakup? One, she's really hurt and she wants to ignore those feelings. Or two, she feels guilt or shame because she believes that she's the reason why Dean broke up with her, and she doesn't want to acknowledge that.
I've had my heart broken before. It's really hard. It's hard for everyone, so can I give you a little advice? Okay.
I love the way Lorelai is approaching this conversation. She's trying to validate Rory's emotions and empathize with her, even though Rory hasn't talked much about what she's going through. And instead of telling Rory what to do or how to handle the breakup or tell her how she should be feeling, she says, "Can I give you a little advice?" This allows Rory to be more open to listen to what Lorelai has to say and not get defensive.
I think what you really need to do today is wallow. Wallow? Oh, yeah.
Yes, I agree 100%. Wallowing, to me, means to grieve the loss or the ending of a relationship. Right now, we don't see any wallowing or grieving from Rory. I see her deflect and avoid any topic related to Dean or the breakup.
I'd eat nothing but gallons of ice cream and tons of pizza. Don't take a shower or shave your legs or put on any kind of makeup at all. And just sit in the dark and watch a really sad movie and have a good long cry and just wallow. You need to wallow.
The grieving or wallowing process may look different for everyone, but Lorelai described it pretty well and in a more classic sense or cliche way. It is part of the breakup recovery process, crying, feeling sad, hurt, confused, mad, all of it. Talking about it and sharing your feelings is crucial. It's basically giving yourself the time and space to feel whatever you need to feel and to allow yourself to process the fact that the relationship is over.
No, Rory, your first love is intense. And your first breakup even more intense.
First loves and first breakups are definitely more intense, and they are the worst. Give me a thumbs up if you agree. I think it's because the majority of people who experience their first relationship are usually in their teenage years, where hormones are flying everywhere and everything is new and exciting. So this relationship gets encoded in our brains differently, which is why our first loves and first breakups feel more intense.
Shoving it away and ignoring it while you make lists it's not going to help. I don't want to wallow. Right? I don't want to be that kind of girl. The kind of girl who just falls apart because she doesn't have a boyfriend. That description hardly applies to you. It will if I wallow. Not true.
Rory just said something really revealing here. I don't want to be that girl. And she describes this girl as someone who falls apart because she doesn't have a boyfriend. And she will become this girl if she wallows. Now, if Rory was in a session with me and she says this, I would be curious to see where this belief or this idea comes from. Who told her this idea was true? What would it mean about her identity if she did wallow? All of these things are worth exploring because this is what's going to hold her back from being able to process her feelings in a healthy and functional way. My suspicion is that she associates this idea of a girl crying over a guy as weak. And she wants to avoid feelings of weakness or vulnerability. Maybe it's also because she's modeling how Lorelai handles breakups. I think in one of the later episodes, this is mentioned, so maybe it's also a pattern Lorelai has that Rory learned.
So, I used to have a boyfriend, and now I don't. Okay, that's just the way it is. I mean, sitting in the dark eating junk food and not shaving my legs isn't going to change that, is it? No.
The purpose of doing that is not to find a boyfriend, so Rory sneakily changed the meaning of the argument. Lorelai wasn't saying that by eating junk food and watching sad movies and not shaving your legs was so Rory could find a new boyfriend or to no longer be single. She was saying that it's a way to help her process her breakup. Now, this tactic that Rory just did happens a lot in everyday conversations or arguments or disagreements. When someone tries to change the meaning of the conversation to avoid the real issue. The issue in this case is that Rory isn't dealing with the breakup.
I don't want to wallow, and you can't make me. Okay, fine. Thank you.
This is classic avoidant behavior. Avoidant attachment is derived from attachment theory. This is one of the most important theories that's evidence-based that I use in my personal life with my clients. I also use it to interpret other people's behavior and my own behavior. Attachment theory explains so many things about the human experience: child development, personality disorders, and even psychopathology. In my practice, we usually discuss attachment theories and how it impacts our relationships, how we process emotions, our breakup recovery process, and our thoughts or behavior patterns. Basically, there's 4 types of attachment styles. There's secure, anxious or preoccupied, avoidant or dismissing, and fearful. Studies have shown that people who are more avoidant or dismissing styles tend to have difficulty relying on others, and they are more likely to appear that they are over a breakup faster. However, they are less likely to reflect on themselves or how they contributed to their relationship. So there's usually less personal development or self-growth after a breakup.
So that must be the list. Yes, it is. May I see it, please?
Right. So Rory created a list of errands to run, which is another example of Rory avoiding having to deal with the breakup. Now, I usually do recommend my clients who are going through breakups to keep busy. But after the grieving period, this is not something I recommend right after a breakup. A lot of times, people want to skip ahead to the end of the breakup when they're feeling better, or skip ahead to a new relationship. So they start dating right away or start trying to find someone else. That's not how things work. From my professional experience, if you don't deal with the grieving process or the breakup recovery in a healthy way, there's going to be emotional baggage that gets carried forward in future relationships.
Mom? What? It's on the list. Don't you have to do it if it's on the list? I am not going to wallow. But I put it after going to the recycling center.
I love Lorelai. She is so funny. So let's skip ahead to the scene where Rory is now at Madeline's party, and she's talking to Tristan, who just got dumped.
You just loved it, didn't you?
Loved what?
Seeing me nailed like that. Must have been a great moment.
Not really.
Tristan has still been a bit of a pain to Rory at school because apparently he's got a crush on her, but he's also been dating this new girl, Summer.
So where's your boyfriend tonight?
He's not my boyfriend anymore.
Why not?
Didn't want to be.
Okay, so they're bonding and they're sharing their recent breakup experience.
Idiot.
So Summer.
You think you'll get back together?
He was pretty set in his decision.
So what I find interesting is that Rory is more open to talking about the breakup with Tristan as opposed to talking about it with Lorelai. So I'm curious as to what that's about.
When did it happen?
Yesterday.
Wow.
It was our 3-month anniversary.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does suck.
Tristan is obviously interested to find out that Rory is single, and he's being really nice. He was able to somewhat validate her feelings.
I'm sorry I gave you such a hard time for a while.
Oh, it's okay.
It is.
Well, no, but you're sad.
And he's genuinely apologizing for the way he's treated her. Now, I'm wondering why he's apologizing now. Is it because he feels bad that Rory is going through a tough time? Or is it because he wants to apologize in order to have his best shot with Rory? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below.
I'm sorry. What did I do? Did I bite your lip or something?
No, it's not you. I have to go.
Tristan leans in for a kiss. I mean, they're both feeling vulnerable, they're both single at this point, and he's actually showing her that he has feelings for her. But why would Rory start crying and then leave? I think that this whole time she's been avoiding the breakup and actually talking about what happened, even though she's acknowledged that Dean is no longer her boyfriend and that they're not together anymore. But by kissing another guy has made it into a reality that she can no longer avoid or hide from. Maybe the kiss also helped her realize that she couldn't move on as quickly as she thought or skip to the end of the breakup like she was hoping for.
Ready to wallow now.
Rory has come to terms with the fact that she needs to wallow or grieve the relationship. This is probably one of the hardest things to go through, and the first breakups are always so painful. I'm glad that she's able to go through this because it will eventually get easier for her as opposed to not dealing with her feelings and staying busy and ignoring the problems. And also, she's not alone to go through this. She's got Lorelai and also Lane if she chooses to talk to her. Next week, I'm going to be watching the episode where Rory invites Dean to her grandparents' dinner shortly after they got back together. If you have any scenes or relationships you'd like me to analyze, leave your suggestions in the comments below. Next week's episode is also going to be an interesting one because I have a special guest who will be analyzing the episode with me. That's right, my husband, aka the sociologist, will be joining us, so make sure you hit the bell button to get notifications so you don't miss it, because he's got a lot of things to say about social class, and also, it's going to be a bit more of a reaction video because he's never watched any of the episodes of Gilmore Girls, so this is going to be pretty fun. While you wait for next week's video, feel free to check out my other analysis videos with Rory and Dean. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, be kind and love yourself.